Hey everyone, welcome back to another market closing live stream. Let's go ahead and take a peek at what the heck is going on in the market. As usual, we've got lots to talk about because, well, the market's turning a little bit red. Potentially turning a little bit red because of this talk about raising the corporate tax rate to 26.5%, which is higher than that 24.5% consensus we were expecting. Also, got big negotiations going on in the stimulus sector and infrastructure package. Stay tuned for that. I'll be releasing a comprehensive update after this video here on the market, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, let's bump the volume a little bit. There we go. And let's hop on over to the charts to see what's going on over here. All right, folks. So what do we got here? We have a market that definitely has lots of red. We've got a market that also does have some green, though. So let's go ahead, since the market is, at least the S&P's down, the Dow's up slightly. Let's go ahead and start with the green, and then we'll go to the red today. We've got ATR holding on to that 49% bump today. This morning started up about 20%, kept running all the way, really another about 30% there since the run that we've seen this morning, which is really incredible. Occugen, right around the same time that ATR started selling down, I noticed that Occugen started running. Occugen ran up about 5-6% and is now up to 17.5% towards the upside here. Both of these also very, very common momentum style stocks. And at the same time, we then saw some other momentum style stocks pick up, like Express or Ashford Hospitality. Both of these have had good momentum movements. And now we're seeing these recover. Worth noting here that Canadian Solar is also up 4.18%. I made my first purchase of Canadian Solar along with ChargePoint actually no, not, ChargePoint wasn't part of it, but it was the solar companies. SunPower. It was SunPower, Canadian Solar, Sunrun, Solar Edge, and there was one more I can't think of right now. Was it First Solar? Might have been First Solar. Anyway, we bought the stocks over in that solar basket last Friday. And those appear to be up today pretty nicely, 4 to 5%. Those stocks you can find them by going to metkevin.com/solar, by the way. I basically made this solar pie. So what you'll see, let's see here. If you go to metkevin.com/solar, you're going to see M1 Finance here. And you're going to see that, things have really come down over the last few months. And so I see this as a potential opportunity if we're going to run into some kind of rally again in solar, especially since towards the end of the year, you do tend to end up getting more people purchasing solar to take advantage of the tax credits, the energy tax credits. And I really just allocated Canadian Solar, First Solar, SunPower, Sunrun, and Solar Edge at 20% each. And that's mostly because individually I like Enphase more, but I also want some exposure to these other companies. And I thought the easiest way to do that was with sort of a basket or bundle of these particular stocks here. So, all right. Then we've got Build-A-Bear up 3.85%. ChargePoint's up about 3 and a bit here. Zillow, Canoe coming up. Canoe sitting at $7.05. Redfin, $48.90. Still a bargain relative to where Redfin has been previously. Solar Edge up about 1.93%. Let's go ahead and jump down to the bottom here. Oh, look at that. Enphase went green. Look at this craziness in the market today. Oops, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Let's get back over here to Enphase. Enphase, take a look at this. Enphase this morning fell as low as a $1.54. Fell all the way down to 154. Did recover and is now up 1% on the day. All right, then we've got, let's see here, Restoration Hardware. Okay, Tesla. Tesla was down as much as 3% this morning. Worth noting. Look at that. How low did NIO go? This morning was a buy the dip opportunity. Look at this. 36.57 on NIO. Tesla was down 3.5%. I mean, what a mess. We got down, look at that, to 708 on Tesla this morning. It's these individual little shocks here, and now we're near highs of the day at 742. Incredible movements here. So let's go look at the downside here. Towards the downside, we've got Affirm sitting at $110. This is this morning at about 107, or what 107 in terms of stock price. I did buy a bit of the dip because personally I'm expecting Hippo and Affirm to bounce back. I wouldn't be surprised actually if all of these bounce back tomorrow. A lot of pain today. You've had a bleed on Hippo throughout the day. It's down 7.84%. you've had this mostly sideways trading after the dip on a firm throughout the day. Nothing's changed about my thesis on these. Still hold my positions. Tattooed Chef down under $20, down 3.7% here. Beachbody can't catch a break, and Matterport's rotating down. Was down more this morning, so it's recovered quite a bit. Let's go ahead and take a look. How low did we go this morning? Saw this thing. Yeah, look at that, 1770. Still not within that striking threshold where I'm really excited or like, oh my gosh, I have to buy this. But yeah, something to pay attention to as a stock that that if we continue to trend down on, I think has a good opportunity for a deal. Etsy down a couple percent. SoFi's down a couple percent, sitting around that $15 level. Robinhood at a 40.63 right now, really stuck at that 40 level here. I got some covered calls on this one too. So okay, good. Then let's do a crypto look here, and then we'll look at some of the news. So we've got BTC right now, a little bit of a rough day. I'm gonna go to the hour chart here. Had a lot of sort of drama here. Fell as low as 43,400 after the downside of the nonsense with what's it called? Let's get to it. The oh yeah, of course, Litecoin this morning. Litecoin run up was something else. Ran up to almost 47,000 and straight back down. So some things to keep in mind. Let's see what kind of news we got here. In fact, let's go ahead and turn on CNBC and let's move a little bit. Okay, so what do we got here? Clorox. That's kind of boring. Let me listen to this for a second.
We had about 7 to 8% of our business in e-commerce pre-pandemic. We've doubled that over the last 2 years, and we expect it to continue to rapidly grow, and we're ready for the impacts of that. Yeah. And we've announced to be able to be ready long into the future, a $500 million program over the next 5 years to build digital capabilities across the company. So as we continue to have more...
Am I hearing this right? Is the Clorox CEO really on TV talking about how they're going to go digital? I mean, I guess it doesn't, like, I never really thought about jumping up and down over, oh my gosh, I could buy my Clorox online. Holy moly. That's it. All in. Not leaving. Like, who cares? Who cares? I don't know. Was that news substantially louder than me? Sorry, I'll let's see why that might be. Nothing should have changed there, but okay. So anyway, all right. So okay, I see some comments here about Smile Direct. Let's look at Smile Direct. What do we got going on here? Smile Direct. Okay, so we had some momentum coming here. Take a peek at this. Let's see here. We've got yeah, it's definitely some volume that has run in here. So you got a little bit of a surge here on Smile Direct, a really beaten down stock. Yeah, 577 up to 598 right now. Yeah, we zoom out on Smile Direct here. You've obviously been on a very, very, solid down trajectory here, which is rough, but been a little on the rough side. $6 right now. It's up 16% on, somebody mentioned some kind of mention here. So maybe we can get to the bottom in terms of what that mention is. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Bloomberg terminal and we can find out what that was. And let's see here. Okay. Let's pop around here. Here we go. All right. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Just TV commercials online. No problem then. Is this Beachbody or whose is this? Whose commercial is this? Let's see. Making some kind of bike. We'll play that for a second. So 5E. Okay. Let's get logged in here. Oh, it's an IBM ad. Unexpected. Okay. All right. Bloomberg terminal's coming up. I can get the short interest as well just to see what's going up. Clorox antivirus software. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Ay. What a day. Oh, let's also take a peek here at Treasury yields and some headlines. See what we got. So S&P barely green. U.S. COVID cases finally start to dip from latest peak, but Delta is still on the rise in some states. And bonds, get the 10-year, 10-year sitting at 1.32%. So that is a fall to start the week, as CNBC has here. Let's look at COVID cases. I want to see how much lower. Tired of hearing about COVID. COVID's got to go. Yeah, we are inflecting to the downside, which is nice. This is very, very good. Let's do 30 days here. These are our weekend days here. Okay. Well, I mean, to me, it looks so far like the same trend. I think this week will really tell. But okay, some inflection to the downside. Worth comparing to the United Kingdom, though. And this always makes me a little nervous about the winter, because you go to the United Kingdom, zoom out to all time, you have this sort of double peak happening here. And so we're still on our first rotation down in terms of if we are rotating down. We're on that first rotation down. So I wonder if we'll hit sort of this sort of W or double, not W, more of an M, right? M kind of shape. It's the upside down W is an M. Anyway, because we always talk about like a double dip recession, like a W, bottom. Anyway, this is like top. Okay, so what are the news we have here? Let's see. House Democrats propose raising to 28.8%. Well, they were just talking about 26.5%. Well, is somebody else now changing it again? I do want to. We were talking about Toast this morning, looking into the Toast IPO there, and doing some research on the filing for that. We've got no massive other news here on CNBC. Let's jump back to Bloomberg. So we're going to talk more about the SALT tax deduction later. I thought this was really interesting. I didn't read it yet. I'm going to look at it right now. Let's take a peek at this this here. Oh, and then looks like there's an update on the press release probe here as well. So who said this? COVID-19 vaccines work so well that most people don't yet need a booster. An all-star panel. Well, I like how here they say COVID vaccines work so well that most people won't yet need a booster or don't yet need a booster. Yet here it doesn't say most people don't need a COVID vaccine. It doesn't say most people don't yet need a COVID booster. Kind of a little different messaging there. But anyway, governments would be better served on focusing on immunizing the unvaccinated and wait for more data. This is according to two prominent FDA experts argued in the medical journal The Lancet, based on their assessment of a wide variety of real-world observational studies as well as data from clinical studies. None of the studies has provided credible evidence of substantially declining protection against maybe the substantially declining part here, but there's just the University of Oxford study that showed the Pfizer vaccine being only like 60% effective after 6 to 8 months versus immediately after getting it, where it was like 90 to 95% effective, which was crazy. It was like when those vaccines came out, everything felt like, oh my gosh, that's it, COVID's over. Sports betting. Let's hit on this for a second. We'll come right back.
Other competitors out there, of which there are legions now.
Yeah, I mean, it's really growing. There are, something like 20 odd, pretty sizable competitors now in the market. That's continuing to grow. You're also seeing new states coming online really fast. So, look, I think we differentiate ourselves with the strength of the Fox brand and how much that means, especially to NFL fans. As you can see on the air now and showing our strategies different in a few ways. One, a lot rotates around our free-to-play Fox Bet Super 6 game. So we had $1 million on the line this weekend. We actually had 3 times the number of entries this weekend than we had on opening weekend last year. And so for us, that's a great way to really grow our customer base as we're waiting for more and more states to come online. So, you look at numbers like the overall market being up over 100%. And then you take into consideration the fact that California, Texas, New York, and Florida haven't even opened up betting yet. It's pretty amazing to think about how big the market's going to be.
Yeah, you got to get California to just legalize all gambling. That's what you need. Not sure where that idea came from. Anyway, so let's see here. I'm just looking at some of your comments here. This is interesting. That BS article killed Moderna stock today. Buy the dip. I don't know. Buy the dip. It's so expensive. Oh yeah, Moderna's down 6.7%. That could be though on this broader higher valuation pullback. I'm just giving you benefit of the doubt here. Like when the entire we've got huge sectors of the market pulling back this much. I don't know that I would be so horribly worried about it. My corporation, your corporation, you mean the one you work for or the one you own? Either way. Okay, well, based on your sentence here, I'm assuming the one you work for. My corporation made us start wearing masks again because, and I quote, vaccines don't work, going back to masks. Wow. Okay. Ouch. Check out the Volta charging movement. Yeah, another SPAC finally making moves. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Palantir took a hit when they lost that UK government contract. Interesting. Thank you for that. I don't refuse to talk about Smile Direct. Look at the chart, undervalued 7 is okay. I mean, hey, maybe it'll do well. CPI forecast tomorrow, 5.3% year over year. I personally hope it'll come in lower. If I had to make a bet, I would lean towards it coming lower. I did see Bill Maher talking about water lines. Yes, I did say that in the debate. I said that we should build a pipeline to bring water from where we have lots of water to where we don't have lots of water. If we do it with oil, why can't we do it with water? And oh my gosh, the amount of hate that came out from people like, well, how are you going to pull the permits? And it's like, this is an existential crisis, not having enough water in half of our country and having too much water in the other half. Connect the two. Like, the Romans could do it. The people of Panama could build the Panama Canal. I think we can build it. And Bill Maher's piece was great on that. Really, really great. So yes, thank you for bringing that out. So UK announced today the masks are coming back. I believe that. I just hope they recommend good masks, not the crap facial covering garbage. UK and okay, let's see. Thoughts on Coinbase crypto lending to borrow cash instead of using margin? I think it's exactly the same thing. And I personally think margin or debt on crypto is much more risky. Much more risky. So not super excited about that one. All right, let's see what else is inside. Okay, let's see. Weeble. All right, so what do we have here? Let's go back to some of these sticks. Affirm back to 109.97. Rough day. I think today is a day today to go shopping. I did do some purchasing this morning. I shifted around an option and did some share purchasing this morning. I do like buying the dip, as y'all know. And if you ever want to know what my dip buying looks like or what I'm doing looks like, well, you get every single alert when I buy or sell. If you join that Stocks and Psychology of Money group link down below, you get lifetime access to the lectures in that program. Check it out down below. All right, there's a coupon code as well. All right, so then we've got support.com, but this one's been vacillating as of the last few days, hasn't it been? Yeah, it has been. See, it's kind of been up and down here the last few days, trying to really find itself. Wow, Mind Medicine's almost under $2 again. That's what I'm kind of waiting for to potentially start a position in Mind Medicine. Is I want to get under $2 there, but you know what? It's also going to beg a little bit more research, and I'm almost out of coffee. So yeah, Hippo, another bloody day here today. Brutal at 543 here. This is a great price in my opinion for it. 543. I own a lot of it. If I'm buying call options, I'd go in the money though, $4 or $5. Yeah, just to give you some less decay. Just some of my thoughts. Tattooed Chef 3.64 to the downside. Planet 13 bleeding out at 460. DraftKings is even down today. Shift Technology down. Gosh, a lot of my faves are just today. Look at this DocuSign. Hey, but it creates a buying opportunity. DocuSign back to 270. Look at that. We're coming back off that 300 hard and fast. Also watching Wayfair. Dang it, Wayfair's going up again. Really was. I'm waiting for Wayfair to try to get back down into some of these late September or July figures. I'm an Uber driver and use the garbage mask and never got sick from COVID or my family. Been working through PCs. Hey, good for you. That's awesome. Look, the garbage mask, quote unquote, just the general facial coverings one. is somewhere around 30% effective. So that's great. That's really good. Depends also where you work, if you're in a high COVID area or not. And if you do longer trips with people or shorter trips, right? Less time people in the car or are in your car, the less COVID buildup you have. Some Uber drivers also crack the window, which alleviates a lot of that COVID cloud, which is great. Things to think about. So let's see here. But yeah, remember, the plural of anecdote is not data, right? Data makes it very clear that a facial covering is substantially less effective than an N95, right? A high quality mask if we're going to mask. All right, Robinhood. Okay, no real exciting changes here. Tesla, did we go green again at Tesla? I know we went up again. Yeah, we did. Okay, it was about that 1% up. Back to 744. I mean, that's nice. Good dip buy opportunity there. I didn't add to Tesla though. It's been a while since I've added to Tesla. Downside. I want to find crypto again too. Yeah, let's find crypto. BTC USD. We'll look at some other news here. 44.7, and then ADA sitting around 243 right now. All right, what do we got? What's Fox News got for us today? Let's listen into Fox Biz.
50 in their products. It's getting hurt. But our countdown closer says one name in the space has the eye of the tiger and is ready to rise up to the challenge of its rivals. Let's bring in Ernesto Ramos. He's CIO of BMO Global Asset Management, $310 billion in assets under management. Let's go, Ernesto. Give that name because I got some questions about it.
Texas Instruments. There you go, Liz. That's the name. And we like it because it's less cyclical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's less cyclical than its competitors.
Let's go over here.
Because you see other old school tech companies like Cisco rallying almost 30% this year too.
Yeah, it's certainly a combination. I mean, I think Oracle has gotten to the point where people are able to feel as if they're well positioned or better than they were before in some of the faster growing areas and cloud-based services. But yeah, I mean, these old tech companies that are cash flow machines, which Oracle absolutely is, with some growth on top of it, and Cisco as well, they found an audience here. I also think it's really a disliked stock. You look at the analyst breakdown, almost nobody's recommending it. It's all of the earnings are basically free cash flow. It's viewed as a little bit of a corporate tech utility as opposed to having this, kind of compelling kind of innovation and growth story. But it's certainly worked pretty well up to this point.
What's your thoughts on this area of tech, Lindsay?
Yeah, when I look at Oracle, I do think it was, a trade earlier this year when people kind of jumped into the value bandwagon. Oracle and some others truly benefited. And I think here, like you said, sentiment around the street and within investors has been pretty poor. So this is going to be a show me story as they really move from being that profitable expansion story to a top line growth story. And so the management is really spending to get that top line growth. But the multiple.
All right, I'm going to pull off Oracle here, and we're going to go into short interest. I'm going to pull the Black app up here. We've got 2 minutes before the close, so we will check the Black app and get some updates here. I will look into Smile Direct here as well. Let's see. SDC. All right, what do we got here? Smile Direct, 33% short. Let's do a few others here. AMC, look above my head for that percentage there. AMC short interest, according to the Black app, just declined to 18.98 here from about 20%. Looks like, oopsies. There we go. About 20% just as recently as the 10th, which was Friday. Let's go GME. Hippo doesn't have short interest. 11.92% on GameStop. Let's look at Palantir, 3.88% short. Let's do like a Tesla or something like that here. 3.57%. Tesla shorts just went up a little bit. So anyone else want me to look into a short? So ATER is up 33.5%. Clove, sure. Let's do Clove. 13.23. Neo, we got about 40 seconds left before the close. 4.39 on Neo. Piton, 10.89% on Piton. Bell, you're just saying Bell. FUV 33.74. firm is fell here recently from 8.39%. Oh, we could have gotten short squeezed on a firm. Look at that. Look at just right here. Look at this. This was a little bit of a short squeeze of almost 2% right here on a firm. No wonder we shot up that much. I knew that was overvalued. That was way too much. That was a cray-cray. All right, let's go ahead and get to the closing bell and move on to see how things close for the day.
Close healthcare and utilities. Oil, of course, doing well, up 1.3%. Dollars essentially flat, 10-year yield essentially flat. Today. At the close, we have a fractional.
All right, since we can't hear a word they're saying, the S&P actually went positive into the close. Dow Jones Industrial up 0.75%. That's not bad. We recovered here. 0.05, 06, 07 to the downside on NASDAQ. Russell 2000 up 0.59. It's actually not that red anymore. Oh.
264. Welcome back to Closing Bell. If you are just joining us, I'm Sarah Eisen here with Wilfred Frost and Mike Santoli, CNBC Senior Markets Commentator. Take a look at how we finished up the day on Wall Street. The Dow was the big winner. And as you can see, there had a nice little tick up into the close.
We kind of saw this. Okay, I'm going to pull down off this here. So, yeah, hey, worth reminding you that if you want to get up to $70 for free, go to metkevin.com/public. Get a free stock with Public worth all the way up to $70. Go to metkevin.com/public. They don't buy or sell your information, and they don't do payment for order flow. Let's check them out by going to metkevin.com/public. All right, so how did things close today? ATER up 52.3%. Ocugen up 15.8%. Express up 8.8%. Newegg 7.2%. A lot of momentum movement here, pushing up. I would expect, I'm not sure if we're going to see these continue tomorrow. We'll see. But I would expect some of the losers to flip back going into tomorrow. Potentially, Rocket Lab, wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of flip back. Potentially, depends how mentions go. I think Hippo easily could run back to $6 or more tomorrow. We'll see what happens. We've got support.com. This one's been on a longer term downtrend. I prefer to be looking at some of these that have been on more of an uptrend recently for that trend to really pick up and continue rather than get broken. It's easier for the trend to continue. Trend continuing would be a trickle up on a firm, a nice little trickle up on Hippo. I would expect these. Rocket Lab, let's take a peek here. Rocket Lab, this is really some of one of its first and second red days here. So wouldn't be surprising with Rocket, we could potentially be creating a new trend. So we want to keep an eye on that and see if the trend's going to survive. 23andMe, 3.67%. Okay. Twitter, 3%. Blink charging. The charger's down today. Blink charging. Piton, Lemonade. Yeah, Lemonade and Hippo tend to move together, so not a big surprise there. Etsy, 2.04%. SoFi, down just a tad. Hut 8 Mining, down 1.33. Okay, looking at the upside, we kind of already did. SunPower, Canadian Solar did well. AMC, sitting at very nice, respectable $51.72. Up 3.11% today. Very nice. Upstart coming back again for another 2.79% gain. Super cool. Ford Motor kind of rallied into the close there. Look at that. This is almost like a potential news event here on the minute chart. Let me see here. Yeah, look at that sudden rally there on Ford. I'm going to see if there was an update from Ford in terms of maybe what's causing that. Let's go ahead and pop to CNBC for just a sec.
Peak, at least on a core basis, until the early part of next year. So temporary retreat for now, but continue to remain high over the next several months.
Lindsay, what do you make of the market not really worrying about the inflation theme? We've heard so many warnings from companies, 3M, for instance, today. Every consumer staple company I talked to raising prices on consumers, saying it isn't going to go away anytime soon. And yet, no real alarm bells in the inflation sensitive parts of the market, like materials or inflation expectations.
Yeah, no, you're making the exact right point. I mean, the market hasn't really reacted to it. And I think what the market is thinking is like, hey, we want to see inflation come down. We want to make sure it's transitory. And it seems that it's believing that it's going to be transitory. Now, the question remains, though, is what happens with the supply chain? Clearly, there have been bottlenecks within the supply chains for a very long time, and that has been extended with the rise of the COVID variant of Delta. Now, that is starting to retreat to some extent, but the longer that the supply chain constraints remain in place and inventory remains very low, that could be a critical problem as we head into the holiday season. I remain optimistic that things will iron themselves out and we will be in a better position going into November and December, but that's going to be predicated on manufacturers reopening overseas, the port situations figuring themselves out. But the reason I remain optimistic really is because we're starting to see some positive economic data come out of China, positive trade data. We've really seen strong shipments to developed markets in August out of China. And then global CapEx spending really has been on a tear. And by the way, in the US, spending is at the strongest pace on CapEx since 1984. So those are some silver linings to the situation, but we will be wait and see mode here.
Mike, I know we never really pulled back massively in light of Delta, but we've certainly plateaued. Is it possible that there could be another big post-pandemic rally as and when Delta truly abates?
I think you're seeing inklings of it. I do think you would see it in the core cyclical reopening, reflation, global growth type names. Yes, I think that's a possibility of that. That's a lot of what the street commentary is focused on. I mean, it doesn't necessarily work to the maximum benefit of the S&P 500, which we know is mostly a growth index. But there's no doubt that those groups have been discounted. If you look at how far, transports are from their highs, they've all kind of had their retrenchment to a fair degree. So it wouldn't be surprising if we did get another one. I don't know if it's going to come all at once. It's hard to know if there'll be a headline that says, now it's time, as we did when the vaccine results came out. But the makings would seem to be there for at least a re-rotation back in that direction. If we're not having concerns about, really restrained growth of earnings going into 2022, if you don't have something else to come along that say, oh, it's going to be maybe a more prolonged recovery, but not a very strong one, that could work with market psychology and, in combination with the fiscal headlines from Congress as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Today was the first day that I've actually seen reverse repos kind of decline their trend of us having so much money or banks having so much money. And part of me thinks I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing people take some of this cash and just capitulating to investing in the market, especially once inflation does continue to inflect down. So still a big fan of being bullish on this market and being invested rather than uninvested. Regarding Ford, it looks like Ford just hired a new digital chief and information officer. They stole a Lowe's hire, which I'm kind of surprised by that they would poach from Lowe's. I mean, Lowe's has been doing pretty well, but still, I mean, Ford, I don't know. Lowe's online has always driven me nuts. They could do a lot better. The inventory doesn't match up well with what's in store. But then again, maybe that'd be par for the course with an auto dealer. Sorry, that's a slam. Anyway, okay. So, yeah, let's see what else we got. I mean, it's a red day, so we know red day. Red means buy the dip. Set up your options for a rotation. We'll see what happens. We've got... Microvast down, a firm ending at about 109 here. Support.com down, Hippo down a good chunk there. Hippo didn't actually end as horrible. It kind of had a little last minute pump there. I wouldn't really call it a pump. 6.13%. It was down as much as 8% at one point. It's crazy. But that's all right. That's just the nature of this market right now. It's ups and downs, right? So this is one of the reasons why you don't want to be greedy when it comes to when you got profits, take profits. Lemonade, love Lemonade, fell down to like $72 today. Really like that. So thanks Comedy Pill for that. I actually like that name, Comedy Pill. It's a good one. They should sell those. All right. So after hours, in terms of after hours movers. Not much, with the exception of Ocugen continuing to move here. Open Door Technologies dropping almost 5%. ATER dropping 2.39. Usually after hours gets a little funky though. So let me look at what's going on with Open Door. If there was any kind of news that just came out after the bell here. Individual company news. Open Door announces offers to offer stock by selling holder. Oh, open door to offer stock. Yep, well, that'll do it. Secondary offering. Okay. Is Oracle reporting earnings? I did not know that. Usually Mondays and Fridays are like super slow earnings days, but yep, it just did. Okay, Oracle Q1 revenue comes in at 9.73 billion versus 9.77 expected. It's a slight miss on the top line. However, their EPS came in at $1.03 versus 97 cents expected. That's a beat there on the bottom line. So miss on top line, beat on bottom line. Shares down about 3% afterwards. We've got cloud services and license revenue up 6%. Slower growth company here. Although their Fusion ERP cloud revenue is up 32%. But then you're also facing law of large numbers here. I mean, this company has a lot. You've got hardware revenue of 367 million, services revenue of, hardware revenue of 763 million, services revenue of $781 million, net revenue of, net of $2.5 billion. My goodness. Their total revenue, is that net? Which net is that? That seems too high. Hold on here. It says revenue of 9.7 billion. Let me see if I can just look at the actual results here. All right. This is their fiscal year first. How is this their first quarter of 2022? I find that so confusing all the time. Here we go. So, okay, revenues, total revenues, 9.7 bill. Most of that is from cloud services. So they only get 8% of their revenue from hardware. Okay, and I want to look at their net income. Yeah, $2.4 billion of net. That's actually impressive. They bring 25% to the bottom line, folks. Holy smokes. That's after sales and marketing. That's crazy. It's after everything. It's literally bottom line net of 2.4 bill, 25%. Incredible. Incredible, folks. I mean, that is a lot of money they bring to the bottom line. Oh, their margin just went up as well. 45% versus 42.5% expected. Not bad. I mean, that is, wow, what a cash producing company. No wonder they were saying when earlier on CNBC, they were saying this earlier in the year when people were looking for a little bit more of a flight to safety. They people were investing in these cash flow or however Kevin O'Leary says, stocks, because these people print money. Holy moly, they print money. Ay, ay, ay. All right. So then we have, what else do we have? I don't know. We talked about Open Door and their secondary. ATR is down 3% in the afters right now. Dave & Buster's moving. It's up 1% on the day, up 2.68% in the after hours here. So getting a little bit of a recovery on, looks like some of the recovery stocks. Coinbase was only down 2.2% today after announcing their new offering, up 0.46% in the after hours as well. Wow. Wowza. Okay, then we're looking at crypto. Bitcoin almost over 45,000 again. Yeah, look at the rise after the bell. Let's look at it. Yeah, I mean, this is bell to bell movement, huh? Bell to bell movement. Yeah. Crazy madness this morning about that Walmart news, huh? Well, here's your day. So you kind of rallied throughout the day. Nice recovery here. I guess I wouldn't really call it a rally. It's more a recovery. Whew. All right, folks. You know what it's time for? I like this filming angle you are using now better, and lighting too. Thanks. Well, I got another one for you too. So this is, let's call this camera 1. This is camera 2, and I just changed something else. You want to see this? You ready for this? This is camera 3. I just put this camera over here. I actually had this camera at a weird angle over there. I just put it over 3, or over here. Anyway, so now you have 3 angles. This is the new one, which this one is actually inspired by the first angle, the one that you like. So this is the other side. Anyway, thank you folks for being here, supporting as usual. I'm not effing leaving. I am almost completely invested. In fact, I actually went into 100K of margin today on Webull. I've got like 250K of cash over at at Robinhood. I think I already invested my cash that was at M1 Finance, and then I'd have some cash still sitting around because I've been putting money into RCC as well, real estate cash crypto. So I got a deal closing in real estate a week from tomorrow. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, and still looking for opportunities. I still believe HIP. I mean, look, a firm kind of played out, right? Like that was a good move. I think we did really, really well on a firm. I think it ran too high. Like I'm willing to pay $1.08 for it, like 108. Not really. I won't buy any more of it. I said I would buy more of it if it dipped. I got a dip. That's what I wanted. Like literally what I wanted when it was at 125 is what happened. So this is what I want. So I'm happy about that. I will establish a new covered call position against what am I trying against? What is the stock we're talking? A firm at some point. Maybe I will. We'll see. Covered calls are dangerous in a rally, which also makes me pay attention to my AMC covered calls. So I gotta be careful of that because we're getting dangerously close to $55, which is good for AMC. Like I'm happy about that. I've sold puts on that one too that are just printing tendies right now. Then Hippo got shares. Yeah, bullish. I also added a call option on Friday for that one. Even though today was red, it's still up a little bit, which is good. That's on October 15th. Yeah. And then just looking for other opportunities. Kind of, I've consolidated. So I've sold a few things, looking for other opportunities. So I'll be on the hunt. Maybe we'll do some more short-term calls. But I'm also, beyond just short-term calls, I also look for big opportunities like a firm and Hippo that I've thrown a good chunk of money into. Just a bunch of cash I had sitting on the side. So, all right. Thank you for the $5, Mark. I'm sorry, $15, Mark. Thank you very much. Election results tomorrow, 8 p.m. Start coming in. I think M&A will go up soon. I don't think Kevin. I don't know everything. Definitely don't know everything. I don't think you're being mean though by saying that. I think Lemonade will go up as soon as I just keep adding. Go up. We'll go up soon. I just keep adding. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like Lemonade. I got a big position in Lemonade. I'm right there with you. All right.